welcome back to a special program, Women in Leadership, which we're hosting in celebration of International Women's Day. Our audience here still brimming with questions. So quickly, we'll take the one from the gentleman here.
Okay, my name is Namdi Esemi. I'm from the Girl Generation. My question is directed at the Commissioner. I want to know what informed your choice for Sudan for the 110 girls you sent to study medical-related courses? And if there is a similar program for men, which countries are they currently studying?
Okay, that's one. We'll have to check that, after the next question. Yes, please.
My name is Funke Barua, and I work with the Nigeria Women's Trust Fund, a fund that works to help more women get into leadership positions. My question is first premised on the fact that we are a product of our socialization, our environment, our genetics. So a lot of things we're talking about, cultural and all that falls that. And that we need to realize that we can't do this alone. We need the support of the men. This is complementary, not competitive. Now, why does equality always come up when it has to do with women? Why do we always shift the goalposts? As soon as you talk about women in leadership, people will say women need to be, it's about quality, not quantity. I don't hear that come up when it has to do with men. In the workplace, when you talk about...
Who is your question directed
to? It's actually directed at her. I wanted her to answer it. I know she didn't mention it, but I know she's in Parliament, so she will be able to shed more light on that. Why does this come up all the time once it has to do with women? In leadership, we talk about quality as against quantity.
Okay, great. Yeah. Let's take those two first, because we don't have a lot of time and everybody has to be able to say something quickly. Honorable, I also know you wanted to talk about the travel advisory, which came in from Lagos as well.
So which should I take first?
You have the floor. Whichever you decide you want to take first.
I'd like to take hers first, and that's quality. Now, when you're trying to put your best foot forward, because we need role models, we need women who are going to be anecdotal. We want to be able to say, we want to be able to change that narrative and support the new narrative that women do it best. And so quality for us, it's in our interest that the women that we throw up are actually women who we can refer to. I mean, I don't know how many times Amina Mohammed's name has been mentioned here. And so she's become anecdotal. She's now the standard that women can strive to and women can achieve. And I think that because of her, and because of women such as her, who have cracked the glass ceiling, I think that we continue to want women like that, and so that we can challenge the narrative that men are better than us are the things that we do. So that's why it's important for us to put our best foot forward, which brings me to the Be Bold and the Honorable Abike Dabiri story. Now, I always say, and I sit in the committee as the chair of the House Committee on Foreign Relations, that when dealing with foreign publics, we must be circumspect. We must ensure that in that sector, it's very hierarchical, we must follow the proper channel of communication because we're dealing with people outside of our society. Now, we must also realize that Nigeria, no matter how insular the world has become, that Nigeria is only as strong as she is because of her strong relationships with her partners and friends. And it is not the place of the one member of the president's staff, which is what she is. She's the staff of Mr. President. She's the senior special advisor to the president, and her job description is as it is. She's not the Minister for Foreign Affairs who has the charge to drive Nigeria's foreign policy, which of course is dealing with friendly nations. And I think that in the words of Toke, it was not her job so to do. She should have stayed on her side of the fence, and if she needed clarification, she should have gone to the person whose job it is specifically to do, and so the person could direct same to the Nigerian people. She should not have done that. And of course, and I read a statement from the United States where it said, where of course it was credited to the United States to have said that this may damage Nigerian relations with the United States. We need to be very careful. I mean, and it's the truth. I mean, when someone says the senior special advisor to the president has said something, it is assumed that it came from government. And I think that we must be very, very circumspect in the things that we should, especially women in leadership positions, because now we have to apologize for her. What she has done casts a bit of a shadow on women who are doing their job the way they should do it. So women in government have to be twice as careful that we are not apologetic about the positions that we find ourselves.
Okay, so Honourable.
Okay, with
another
regards
honourable
to
yeah.
with regards to what actually informed our decision of taking our students to Sudan, one, the cost implication. Before we take that particular decision, we constituted a committee that go around the closest countries where we can have these courses in various institutions. We went to UK, Finland, we went to India, and so by the time we compared the cost implication, we realized that of Sudan is relatively okay. One. Secondly, we consider proximity. If you are from Maiduguri with a car, if you start your journey by 6 a.m., before the following 6 a.m., you will be approaching Khartoum, which is the headquarters of Sudan. Thirdly, we consider culture. The culture of people of Sudan is by extension the culture of people of Borno State. So we are taking ladies. And we don't want a situation whereby by the time we took them, about 100 of them, or more than 100, they just have issues of culture on how to adopt and how to infuse them. You see, it's another thing. So we all took all these things into consideration. And for your information, most of the people we took there are orphans. So they only have their guardians or some government officials to pay them a visit over sometimes. By the time you take them to India or China or in UK to study, who is going to be visiting them, at least giving them some support? So we have reasons for that.
Okay, so we'll take two more questions. I know that you want to take one for Lagos, so we'll come to yours shortly. Let's take one. The men seem to be competing with us. There are very few here, so we'll take one from the gentleman over there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. My name is Otive Ibuzo. I'm a member of the UN Secretary General Network of Men Leaders to End Violence Against Women. I actually have two short comments. The first is the cliché that women are enemies of themselves. And it's amazing to me because every meeting or workshop or discussion of women is repeated again and again. Even this morning at the Ministry of Women Affairs program. When a man kills another man to take his position, it's normal. But when a woman struggles with another woman to take a position, then women don't support themselves. Whenever there is scarcity, there is struggle. And I think that we should understand that. The second issue is the theme for this year's celebration, Be Bold for Change. And I think somebody mentioned it in Lagos. It was actually a World Economic Forum study that predicts that if we continue the way we are going, before gender parity will happen, it will be in 2186. That is 169 years from today. And I'm saying that it requires bold and radical actions for both men and women. For women to do things that people think that women cannot do. And for men to stand up for women and do things that is required. Because in the final analysis, when women are empowered, the entire society benefits.
Well, thank you, Mr. Ochivo. We have space for about two more questions. Questions, please. There must be questions. Yes, please. Yes, please, madam. Mike? Yes, please.
Okay. So my question, I'm taking it back to Honorable Bawa. So you talked about the Sudan.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry we have to interrupt you, but we need to take a question to Lagos. Yes, please. Because we're going to Lagos now. Yes, please. Go ahead.
My name is Angale Ola Olani. I'm the founder of HAIR. HAIR is a social enterprise that helps young women in their career journey, and I run it through a boot camp I call Hire Me, and I help with their CV restructure, interview skills, etc. So I wanted to latch on the narrative that is just like the gentleman has said, women don't support women. How can we begin to change the conversation and let people, even women, know that no, women do support women? How can we change that particular narrative and make it better for us women?
Amara, that's where we'll have to go to Amara in Lagos for the panel in Lagos to handle that, and also the audience as well.